Hey guys, welcome to day 18 of my 31 Days of Fright. And what's today's movie? Well, here's a little bit of background. So, yesterday I went to the video store to get my Mandy VHS tape. Well, they have these things called DVDs now, and I just happened to pick up this one. It's called Attack of the Killer Bees. Yeah, it has 10 cult bee movies on here. And I mean, for 10 bucks, I can't really pass it up. So I was like, which one of these 10 movies should I pick? Well, I actually did put it on a wheel and I did spin it, and this is what the results were. So it looks like we're doing Attack of the Giant Leeches today. Yeah, that looks interesting. Well, let's get into it. This is Attack of the Giant Leeches.
Well, the beginning of the movie's pretty simple. We got a guy just canoeing around the swamp until he encounters something he's never had before. A giant pulsating limb of some sort. He shoots it, goes back to his buddies in the grocery store, and okay, before I continue on with the plot of the movie, I have to say that the way this film is shot is complete utter shit. I mean, I could barely see what's going on in the whole movie. It's so dark. And all the shadowing and the lighting is just terrible where you can't see anything. And it just gets more apparent throughout the movie. But that's just my little side rant. For now, at least. And do you know what the funny thing is? This movie is only 1 hour long. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, actually. And I swear to God, you do not see one of these leech things until halfway through the movie. Yes, you do not see an attack of a giant leech until the 28-minute mark. I mean, that is pretty excessive. I mean, that's unacceptable. You do not wait halfway through your movie. Granted, it is an hour, but still, it's the principle, damn it. Because the first half is more or less just, hey, there's this woman and her husband, and she's cheating on him.
You want something, Cal?
I sure do, honey.
And you get this other guy that works for, the Fish and Wildlife Department or some shit.
Well, these poachers know the swamps like the back of their hands. But I'll catch one of them in the act some night and put him away for 6 months.
And they're like, yeah, something's going on, but
Sawyer wasn't killed by an alligator.
Is that so? Did you hear that, Morton? Game Warden Benton says there wasn't a gator killed Lem. Well, then what was it? You know so much. Go on, tell me. What killed him?
And it's not until the husband actually discovers that his wife's been cheating on him where we actually do get an attack, because when he actually catches them in the act, he runs them off into the swamp with a shotgun and pretty much forces them into the water, unknowingly that there's giant leeches in there. But that's 28 minutes in. A little long, don't you think? Anyway, and this is where we actually do get to see our giant leeches. And to be honest, for something that just came out of the 50s, the late 50s, and for a low B shitty movie like this, they actually do a pretty good job on the leech costumes, I must say. They actually do look somewhat convincing. I don't know if a giant leech would actually look like that, but you know what? It looks pretty good. And then we find out that the leeches have been harboring these people. I don't really know why, but they don't really explain it. They just know oh, people are being kidnapped. And that's pretty much all the exposition we're gonna get on that. So they decide to go out and search around the swamp to look for these missing persons. And they decide to blow up the water with dynamite because apparently there's a cavern that they might suspect that they're in, and apparently the explosion would cause them to get out of that cavern so they can float to the surface. Yeah, I don't know. So one of the ladies actually doesn't get out of the cavern through the dynamite explosion, and they actually have to send in a scuba diver to get her out. And then when they get her out, they blow up the leech squid things. Yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. It just ends right there. Nothing special.
So yeah, that was a pretty short one today. Pretty simple. Not that bad. It's okay. I mean, even for a low B movie from the 50s, this is pretty out there. But if you're interested in these old sci-fi 50s movies, you can actually find this on Amazon Prime. I would recommend it just to give it a watch. So that means I would give it probably 2 stars out of 4. So it's average for me. Well, that completes day 18 of my 31 Days of Fright. And do you know what tomorrow's movie's going to be? Well, you gotta wait and find out. And until then, have a good one, and I'll see you tomorrow.